Have you ever read a book that felt like a life lesson wrapped in an epic adventure? Today, we're diving deep into the vast blue waters of one of literature's greatest treasures, Ernest Hemingway, The Old Man and the Sea. This isn't just a story about fishing, it's a profound exploration of courage, struggle, and what it truly means to be human. So, grab a warm drink, get comfortable, and let's set sail with Santiago, the aging Cuban fisherman, whose incredible journey has captivated readers for generations. Before we meet our hero, let's talk about the man behind the words, Ernest Hemingway. A larger-than-life figure, Hemingway was known for his adventurous spirit, his love for the outdoors, and his unique minimalist writing style. He believed in writing one true sentence, stripping away the unnecessary to reveal the core of human experience. This approach, known as the iceberg theory, is what makes his work so powerful. What you read on the page is just the tip of the iceberg. The real meaning, the immense weight of the story, lies beneath the surface. Published in 1952, The Old Man and the Sea was an instant success. It won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 1953 and was specifically cited when Hemingway was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1954. It was the last major work of fiction he published in his lifetime, and many consider it his crowning achievement, a perfect distillation of his lifelong themes and philosophies. Now, let's meet our protagonist, Santiago. He's an old, weathered fisherman, with deep wrinkles on his neck and sunspots on his hands. But his eyes, Hemingway tells us, are the same color as the sea and were cheerful and undefeated. This one detail tells us everything we need to know. Santiago is physically worn down by life, but his spirit remains unbroken. He's in a rough patch. He has gone 84 days without catching a single fish. In his small fishing village, this makes him Salao, which is the worst form of unluckiness. The younger fishermen mock him, while the older ones feel pity. His only true friend is a young boy named Manolin, whom Santiago taught to fish. Manolin's parents have forbidden him from fishing with the old man because of his bad luck, but the boy's loyalty and love for Santiago never waver. He still helps him, brings him food, and talks about baseball, especially their hero, the great Joe DiMaggio. This relationship is the heart of the story's beginning. It shows us Santiago's gentle nature and his capacity for love, establishing the emotional stakes before his great trial begins. On the 85th day, Santiago decides to venture far out into the Gulf Stream, beyond where anyone else fishes. He feels this is the day his luck will change. He has a deep, almost spiritual connection with the sea, referring to it as la mar, a feminine term of endearment. He respects its power, its beauty, and its cruelty. He is not fighting against nature. He sees himself as part of it. And then it happens. A fish takes his bait. But this is no ordinary fish. It's a giant marlin, bigger than his skiff, the biggest he has ever seen. The marlin is too powerful to be reeled in. Instead of Santiago pulling the fish begins to pull Santiago and his small boat further and further out to sea. This is where the true battle begins, and it's not just a physical one. For 3 days and 2 nights, Santiago is locked in a grueling struggle with this magnificent creature. He is alone, with only the sea, the sun, and the stars as his companions. His hands are cut and bleeding from the fishing line. His back aches, and he's exhausted from lack of sleep and food. But he never gives up. He starts to feel a strange connection to the marlin. He calls it his brother. He respects its strength, its dignity, and its will to survive. He says, "Fish, I love you and respect you very much. but I will kill you dead before this day ends. This isn't about hate or dominance. It's a battle between two worthy opponents, each fighting for their life with honor. During this struggle, Santiago's thoughts drift. He thinks of his past, of his youth when he was strong, of arm wrestling contests he won, and of seeing lions on the beaches of Africa in his dreams. These memories fuel his resolve. He also thinks of the boy, Manolin, wishing he were there to help him. And he thinks of Joe DiMaggio, the baseball player who played through a painful bone spur. If DiMaggio can endure, Santiago thinks, then so can he. This is the core of Hemingway's message. Grace under pressure. It's about facing immense hardship, pain, and isolation with unwavering determination and dignity. Santiago proves that a man's worth isn't measured by what he accomplishes, but by how he endures. Finally, after a monumental effort that pushes him to the absolute limit of his physical and mental strength, Santiago manages to harpoon the marlin and kill it. He has won. He lashes the enormous fish to the side of his skiff and begins the long journey home, dreaming of the price the marlin will bring at the market and the respect he will regain. But the story isn't over. The victory is short-lived. The marlin's blood leaves a trail in the water, attracting sharks. The first to arrive is a massive mako shark. Santiago, though exhausted, fights it off with his harpoon, but loses the weapon in the process. He knows more will come, and they do. Pack after pack of sharks, drawn by the scent of blood, attack the marlin, tearing away chunks of its precious meat. Santiago fights them with everything he has, lashing his knife to an oar, then using the boat's tiller. He fights them in the dark, driven by a primal need to protect what he fought so hard to win. He tells himself, "A man can be destroyed, but not defeated." This line is the soul of the book. It means that while you can be broken physically, your spirit, your will to fight, can remain unconquered. You are only truly defeated when you give up. By the time Santiago finally reaches the shore, there is nothing left of the magnificent marlin but its skeleton, its massive head, its tail, and its long white spine. He has, in a material sense, lost everything. He stumbles back to his shack and falls into a deep sleep. The next morning, the other fishermen gather around the skeleton of the marlin, amazed at its size. They finally understand the epic battle Santiago fought. Manolin finds Santiago in his shack, and seeing the old man's wounded hands, the boy weeps. He promises Santiago that they will fish together again, regardless of luck. The story ends with Santiago asleep, dreaming once more of the lions on the African beach. So, what does it all mean? The Old Man and the Sea is a powerful allegory about the human condition. The sea represents life itself, vast, unpredictable, and full of challenges. The marlin is the goal, the great prize we strive for in our lives. And the sharks? They are the obstacles, the setbacks, the destructive forces that try to tear our achievements apart. Santiago's journey teaches us that true victory isn't about the final prize. It's about the struggle itself. It's about the perseverance, the honor, and the dignity with which we face our challenges. Santiago may have returned with only a skeleton, but he returned undefeated. He proved his strength, his courage, and his worth to himself. In the end, he regained the respect of his community and reaffirmed the love and loyalty of the boy, which are far more valuable than any fish. The ending, with Santiago dreaming of lions, is symbolic. The lions represent his youth, his strength, and his untamable spirit. It shows us that despite his age and his ordeal, his core essence, his inner strength, is still very much alive. He is at peace. The Old Man and the Sea is a timeless story because its themes are universal. We all face our own marlins and our own sharks. We all experience moments of struggle, isolation, and apparent failure. Hemingway's masterpiece reminds us that there is profound nobility in the fight. It encourages us to endure, to maintain our grace under pressure, and to understand that we are never truly defeated as long as we refuse to give up. It's a short book, but its message will stay with you for a lifetime. What do you think? Have you read The Old Man and the Sea? What lessons did you take away from Santiago's journey? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me on this literary voyage today. If you enjoyed this analysis, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the world's greatest stories. Until next time, keep reading and keep exploring.